Assalamualaikum dear students, how are you? Yesterday we talked about future simple tense. Today we are going to start future continuous tense. Look at the example. I'll be singing. Okay, from this example you can infer the structure. How will the structure be? How do we make the future continuous tense? We just put the components of this sentence into this formula. Okay, subject plus auxiliary verb will, the another auxiliary, that is be, and main verb, that is base form of verb plus ing. Okay, just like this. I, subject, will, auxiliary, be is the other auxiliary, the another auxiliary, and singing is base plus ing form. For negative sentences in the future continuous tense, we insert not between will and be. For question sentences, we exchange the subject and will. Okay, look at these example sentences with the future continuous tense. Okay, I'll be working at 10 a.m. You will be, okay, lying on a beach tomorrow. Okay, lying, to be at certain point, right? She will not be using the car. We will not be having dinner at home. Okay, to make them interrogative, okay, just move the auxiliaries before the subjects, like will you be playing football, will they be watching TV. Okay, when we use the future continuous tense in speaking, we often contract the subject and will, and the contraction rules are the same as we have been discussing since, okay, the very first. For spoken negative sentences in future continuous tense, we contract with won't. Okay, this has been discussed, okay, in the previous one as well. We sometimes use shall instead of will, especially for I and we. Okay, but you have the option, okay, of using will instead of shall. But if you are to use shall, you want to use shall, then it will be with I and we. Now look at how do we use the future continuous tense. Look at its uses. The future continuous tense expresses action at a particular moment in the future. It shows an action in progress at a specific moment in the future. The action will start before that moment, but it will not have finished at that moment. Okay, for example, tomorrow I'll start work at 2 p.m. and stop work at 6 p.m. At 4 p.m. tomorrow I'll be working. At 4 p.m. I'll be in the middle of, okay, working, right? These are statistics, or no, sorry, figures, confusing, just learn about that. This is important to be noted that future progressive or future continuous tense shows an action in progress at certain point in the future, right? When we use the future continuous tense, our listener usually knows or understands what time we are about. Look at these examples. I'll be playing tennis at 10 a.m. tomorrow. They won't be watching TV at 9 tonight. What will you be doing at 10 p.m. etc. and etc. In all these sentences, since time is given there, so it means you are certain about, okay, the starting point of that particular action in the future. Okay, you are certain. That is why you are using this tense. Okay, dear students, you have to make 5 sentences with different subjects and different verbs, right? Future perfect tense. Now we have the new topic, future perfect tense. Okay, look at this example. I will have sung. Okay, the future perfect tense is quite an easy tense to understand and use. The future perfect tense talks about the past in the future. Okay, past in the future means complete action in the future. Okay, how do we make the future perfect tense? Just look at the example. Like I is subject, will as auxiliary, have another auxiliary, and main verb, that is past participle, third form of verb, right? Like this: subject, auxiliary verb will, auxiliary, the other auxiliary have, and okay, the main verb, that is in third form of verb or past participle form. Look at the examples, okay, in the future perfect tense. These positive sentences: I will have finished by 10 am. You will have forgotten me by then. She will not have gone to school. We will not have left. Will you have arrived? Will they have received it? Okay, here I mention that if you got understood the first sentence, that was the simple present tense, then other construction should be easy for you. Okay, because same rules are applying, okay, but with different, okay, auxiliaries and different verb forms. Okay, whereas the overall construction is the same. Okay, since we are at our finish time, okay, with our finishing topics with the tenses, so you should have learned, okay, these, okay, constructions, how to go for positive, how to go for negative, and how to go for interrogative, right? In speaking with the future perfect tense, we often contract the subject and will. Sometimes we contract the subject, will, and have all together. Like, okay, I'll have, like this, I will have, but there is seldomly used, okay, but all kind of contractions that you have been told about, they are considered to be informal, so keep them as far as your speaking is concerned. We sometimes use shall instead of will, especially for I and we, that has been discussed earlier. Okay, now look at its uses. How do we use the future perfect tense? The future perfect tense expresses action in the future before another action in the future. This is the past in the future. Okay, quite surprising. For example, the train will leave the station at 9 am. You will arrive at the station at 9:15 am. When you arrive, okay, the train will have left. Okay, the train will have left when you arrive, right? Train leaves in future at 9 am. You arrive, okay, in future at 9:15 am. Okay, this talk about the perfect, okay, completed action in the future. So past in the future, right? The train will have left, right? Or in simpler words, you can say that the future perfect tense shows completion of an action at certain point in the future. That is simple. Okay, do not bother about this. Okay, just forget it. Okay, just put it aside and just listen to this version, that this tense shows a completion of an action in a specific time in the future. That's it, right? Like this: the train will have left when you arrive. Okay, because you cannot go for will twice in a single sentence. Okay, so this serves to be as future, okay, but using present form, right? Look at some more examples. You can call me at work at 8 am. I will have arrived at the office by 8. And likewise, they will be tired when they arrive. Okay, they will be tired, right, when they arrive. They will not have slept for a long time. etc. etc. You can sometimes think of the future perfect tense like the present perfect tense, but instead of your viewpoints being in present, but just okay, again skip it because it's just to confuse you people, okay, and not want you to be confused, right? And you have to make 5 sentences from the previous tense, the future perfect tense, with different verbs and different subjects, right? Now comes the last topic of the topic tenses, future perfect continuous tense. Look at the example, I will have been singing. Okay, the formation is so simple because we are accustomed doing this. Okay, we have done with the same structure in the previous tenses, so it won't be that difficult. It shouldn't be that difficult. How do we make the future perfect continuous tense? The structure of the future perfect continuous tense is subject, auxiliary verb will, auxiliary the other auxiliary, that is have, and the next auxiliary, that is been. So it is typical in a sense that it has 3 auxiliary verbs, will, have, been, plus base form and ing, right? For negative sentence in the future perfect continuous tense, we insert not between will and have. For question sentences, we exchange the subject and will. Look at these example sentences with the future perfect continuous tense. Okay, positive sentences, I will have been working for 4 hours. Okay, as far as the rules regarding for and since and for are concerned, the rules are okay, to remain same as they were in the previous, right? Okay, you will have been traveling for 2 days. He will not have been using the car. We will not have been waiting long. Will you have been playing football? Okay, will they have been watching TV? Just okay, look at this. This not is to be put okay after the first auxiliary, as you have been said earlier that whenever okay you come across with auxiliaries, multiple auxiliaries, okay, you have to put not after the first one, right? Okay, and the contractions regarding rules regarding contractions are the same, right? And now look at its uses. We use the future perfect continuous tense to talk about a long action before some point in the future. Okay, look at the example, I will have been working here for 10 years. Next week is the least okay used tense. Okay, if we look at its uses, so it comes at the bottom. Okay, I will have been working here for 10 years. Okay, next week, it actually talks about an action to be begin in the future at certain time in the future and will continue, right? He will be tight when he arrives. He will have been traveling for 24 hours, right? And you have to make 5 sentences of distance, right? So I think you should have understood about the tenses. To make yourself perfect or okay good at sentences, go for practice more and more. Okay, try with new sentences, creative sentences of your own. Okay, try to learn these things by heart. Okay, you need to focus and you have to keep the structure and the uses of each tenses in your memories, okay, for okay use in for a long period of time or in future, right? So I'm going to stop over here. Thank you for being patient and passionate.